Welcome to this third day of our works. As we said it yesterday, the program will be abided by. We wish it so that we are able to have the closing ceremony at 3 p.m. Cherry is going to introduce our works, and then we will continue without him. He has some other commitments. Mr. Cherry goes back home this evening to Brussels. So Cherry, you have the floor. Thank you. So I remind you that the goal that we had for these 3 days was to share a vision regarding the impacts of the climate transformation and the transformation of our economies that are impacted by the climate change, and to see how the public services can today support this transition or transformation. It was important to do with some partners that I think to have contributed to those works, and also in order to have this vision. I'm going to show you the agenda. So here we are at the third day. We have, I think, some testimonials for the testimonials of partners on the various sectors, on the jobs, on all the opportunities that this climate transformation is offering. Now the idea is to share together. We see what are your ideas, the strategies to be implemented, the projects that you can design. One of the goals of the African Association of Public Services is to try to build a common strategy for the member countries to have an action plan for sharing of experience in order to build a development plan regarding the job. I think that it's not only new things for the as a public services of employment. We see that what we can do in this type of intervention, it will be the information. This means that the partnership that we're going to set up will allow us to accumulate and process information in order to put it at the disposal of our countrymen, accompanied with transformations in the sectors of the jobs. We talked about the masonry, and these are people that have a competence already regarding masonry to work on the new technologies or new designs. It can be integrated through a training program. Today, this is a competence of the public services of employment and professional training in order to anticipate this change of job. So there is also the section related to the job seekers. But on the other side, what we can return through those days of exchange, we need to have information from the public services, from the environment, in order to adapt our actions. And you have all of you, you have raised it in your exchange, the requirement to develop, the necessity to develop a partnership. And public services cannot deal with this transformation issue alone if it is not supported, if there is no work protocol with the various actors that intervene in these various sectors in our countries. We have seen through the presentation of President Mr. Noordin, and the Managing Director of ANAPEC, this was really what was the highlight in his presentation. It's how to ANAPEC developed a certain number of conventions, agreements, contract with some partners that lead, bring knowledge and also funding. So I'm not going to say more. What we proposed this morning as a work plan, every one of you, it is important that you have to express yourself. We have some secretaries that will take note of your proposals or observations, your ideas, your project ideas. We are going to base on what has been done in Jamena conference. The idea this morning is to seize the opportunity to review what was the recommendations from Jamena conference, if they are updated, if we can enrich them and improve them. Maybe there are some things that we can and also identify strategies and actions to be reinforced or to be implemented. Most of them, we have the testimonials of our colleagues, and there are some things that there are concrete actions with results. Maybe these are actions to be intensified and shared, and in other countries or domains. Maybe we can see also at the end of this morning to see what will be the big access of the development of green economy development, the common products that the common outcome of this conference. I'm not going to talk about the program. We will have also the closing ceremony. I just we're going to see when we're going to work up to 1 p.m. and then we will have concrete ideas in order to reinforce the development of the green economy. Thank you, Cherry. So I think that allow me. So I have here the slide. I have displayed the slide related to the recommendations of Jamena conference. So we leave it here on the board here for you to go through it and for you to discuss on it. I remind you that the conference of Jamena, it was from 11 to 13 December 2018, and where there were the African region, the European region, and I think a representative from the Asian and Pacific region. And so thank you, Cherry. So as a reminder, I think that during yesterday's work, there have been a certain number of recommendations put forward because the secretariat of the conference is going to present to us at the end of today a general report, a draft general report that we're going to consider together. But this report must be enriched from the results of the works deriving from the works this morning. So we have to be in harmony with the secretariat. I remind you that yesterday powerful ideas emerged yesterday, and we agreed that ASEP and AMSEP would plan together the elaboration of a bank of data for green jobs, and also we should inspire all of us where we don't have the example of the DRC Congo in terms of creation of a center of study and training on the green jobs. So I think that it can be a structure that can be useful for us, for all of us, where this center is not found. We also agreed that the integration of competence, ecological and environmental competence, as recommended by one of our presenters yesterday, in the academic curriculum and the university curriculum, bigger schools and universities, in the framework of partnership, as Cherry mentioned it right now. We have to liaise with universities to improve their training programs by integrating modules that are related to ecology, environment, and green jobs, and in general the green economy. It was said, and on the basis of the advices and the rectorates of those universities, they will draft a memorandum that they will submit to the various ministers in charge of higher education, so that the government validate and approve this progress of our education system. It can be really an important tool for the public services of employment. It has been also recommended that each in our communities, in our services, we have to adopt ecological behaviors, and also the reinforcement of legislation related to the if all this is not framed by laws and regulatory text, we risk to talk for nothing. So Cherry said it, the sensitization for the restoration of the forest cover. It was a big advocacy from Mr. Camara, and so that the destruction of this vegetal cover in the Sudano-Sahelian region, if we do not master, for instance, the wildfires, our fight will be vain. Where the vegetal coverage has been destroyed, we have to think about replanting that zone. And another recommendations was the elaboration of a common strategy for the fight against wildfires. It is possible if there is a political will. It was said during these 2 days of works. All what we are deciding here, if these decisions are not supported by a powerful political will, we continue to applaud the presence and manners of all the representative of the ministers. For me, and they are not representative of ministers, they are ministers. If a minister send a representative, his representative is a minister. So we rely on their support, so that the recommendations from this Conakry conference to allow decision making at a political level in order to promote the green jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, representative of ministers, thank you for your presence in this room. It was also recommended that in each of our public service of employment, in a general way, in each of our countries, that the green jobs be regarded as an alternative of unemployment, for the fight against unemployment and the reduction of poverty. It was a recommendation, powerful recommendation. If we are able to make this as an alternative against unemployment, and to make it as a tool to fight against unemployment, I think that this recommendation merit also to be supported. And the other aspect that Cherry talked about is the information, the education, and also communication. It has been shown through all the presentations without information, without communication, as long if we do not liaise with the other actors of the job market, the actors of the political chain, if we do not liaise with the social actors or the economic actors, we will not reach good outcome. We have to take it into consideration at the core of our future activities, so that the public services go towards the other actors and partners. By going towards them, if they are actors, we want them to become our partners. It can't be possible, it can only be possible if we liaise with them. And finally, our sister, Madame Bangura, insisted she insisted once again on the necessity of the involvement of local communities and territorial collectivities in all our strategies for the development of a green economy, green jobs. All the countries are decentralizing. So this decentralization and the concentration is done in order to be more closer to our to make our communities closer to the decision making through these are important actors in our action plan. In our yearly action plan, we have to note it as a priority plan, not only for the green job, but for all our actions. A project that we design for a community shouldn't be designed without the involvement of that community. So our countries have complained about it with some partners that used to design projects in New York, in Paris, in Seoul for projects for Africa, but it can't work. It can't work. So we too, we have to inspire from those experiences, so that the communities with which we are called upon to work together be at the core of all our strategies for the sustainable development. We have seen that we need to have a solid partnership, a partnership with communities, with the associations, with NGOs, partnership with institutional actors, because no department itself alone can promote the employment. So we have with the Ministry of the Technical Ministry, the Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Energy, Water and Sanitation, with the entire all these set of ministries, we have to work together in order to go towards this development and the promotion of green jobs. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is the summary. I think that the Secretariat will be more precise. This is just some reminders in order to start and launch the works today. And we will give you the floor. Maybe we have forgotten many parts, but you have retained and kept in mind some. Maybe you have talked about new visions and new ideas, so that we enrich our works. Thank you. Just what I would like to propose for the introduction is my colleague Nicole Clocks, who also presented at the G7. Maybe we're going to present the G7 outcome. And some of you, Benin, that has decided to associate to that group of work that is being enlarged. It won't be long. It will be only for a few minutes to present it quickly. Thank you. So the moderator, we thank you sincerely for this summary with all the recommendations that you have listed. I would like to add this. I don't know if I am the one who has made among these recommendations. I think that I would like us, if necessary, we think about a funding, because during all these presentations, I haven't heard talking about the access to funding, access to loans or credit, the promotion of green economy and green jobs. It is necessary that we get a fiduciary loan, allowing the member countries to have access of an amount, allowing them in a formal or informal way to make some jobs sustainable, so that the activities to make those jobs sustainable. There is a requirement to think about it. Maybe the association is affiliated to some institutions of Bretton Woods, the IMF or the World Bank and the African Development Bank, but I would like to know if the countries, the member countries, have access to those funds. This is my question. So I formulate this advocacy so that we are able to think about it and to see how we can, and the member countries can have access to these funds. Secondly, if there is a possibility of exchange of experience between among member states, if there is a possibility of exchange of experience, so that we train at a certain number of people that are affiliated to a certain number of sectors related to the green economy. This will help also our movement to move forward. These are the recommendations that I wanted to suggest to be taken into consideration. On the issue of funding, this is part of the points that we're going to discuss together. The works that we are carrying out, and we are expecting to have a concrete. I exchanged 10 days with the World Bank 10 days ago. The World Bank has a service in Washington that deals with, that is concerned regarding the support to the employment in the green. If they said, okay, if you have ideas, maybe we can fund. This is what the World Bank said. There are some local also funders at the African Development Bank, and some financiers. I think that if we have projects plus the concrete projects and through the coordination, if we are in a project that engage some stakeholders with miserable results, I think that we will have the possibilities of funding for the sharing of practices. This is the goal of the development plan for the green economy. We have to prepare a working agenda with all the partners. We were talking yesterday about training to have advisors on these issues who are working with some sectors in order to lead them to develop the activities around the environment and also the green jobs. We want to do is alone. We're going to design this program, and we will need you, frankly speaking. Thank you. There is another aspect, Mr. Moderator, if you allow me, in order to think about drafting a strategy of capitalization or creation and insertion of green jobs in the countries, because when there is the strategy that exists, AGIP, which is the focal point of assets in the Republic of Guinea, for instance, can federate all the activities and the creation of green jobs, so that we assess it, how to create a green jobs if the strategy is elaborated, I think that an organization, an NGO or the civil society can think to come to AGIP, take the strategy, and all the ways are open. This will allow to manage, to better manage the ecological activities. I asked myself a question yesterday. We talked about development of a green economy that produce green jobs, but most of the panelists that presented yesterday, we talked about the green jobs, but there are some other jobs that we talked about that are not green. If those jobs in a general way, or we are talking about jobs that are related to green economy that are regarded as green jobs. Thank you. Cherry said it. We have anticipated on the exchanges of this morning. It's just to collect your expectations, your proposals, your suggestions regarding all this vast space of green economy and green jobs. Environmental also jobs. So we're going to give you, each of you, if to tell us what you think and how he thinks that we can move forward it. If you propose something, you have also to propose the means, the mechanism that can be used to move. If Cherry said it, we said it. In the speeches that were read at the opening ceremony. Unfortunately, we didn't have everybody here, but it was at the for the outcome at the end of conference. We need to have concrete ideas at the end of this conference that can be translated into projects. They said that you carry out this conference, and we are expecting what you going to agree on this conference. If you have ideas, if you have projects, is not using the mic. I'm sorry. And so thank you. I have presented. There was a presentation in English by my colleagues in order to save time due to the technical. I'm going to allow you to have the floor to comment the slides that we translated into French. The G7, it was a request of the meetings of ministers of G7 from Germany during the chairmanship of German of the G7 summit. It was the acknowledgement of the network of public services. They entrusted us the mission to think together how the public services can handle those issues. It was during the G7. We said, yes, we can hold this mission, but we have to enlarge it to the member states, and the vision of G7 for regarding the climate transformation is not the same that the other members. So I'm not going to come back to the United Nations Convention on Climate, and also the sentence from Simon Searle, who is the executive secretary in charge of climate, and said that we lack of time, and the 3 days work that we have done shows that we do not lack opportunities. The European Green Deal we have for 2030, the European plan for the climate goals to reduce the greenhouse gas. And for 2050, they have the European ambition to become neutral regarding the G7. I'm not going to come back to it. The 7 countries, you have Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, United Kingdom, and the United States. The goal was to gather all the initiatives regarding what we call the greening of the economy. Your remark, observation was relevant. There are some jobs that emerge from the green economy. There are some ideas, new jobs that are emerging. But most of the jobs for all the sectors of activities are touched. You can see that the work of the G7 was to produce a catalog. It will be important for the initiative and contribution of the member countries of ASEPS to enlarge this group work, and the issue of catalog can be an important dimension. The idea is to share the other with the other members what is really the goal of our works today. So the communication of the working group, I do not have all the details, but we are talking about the training on the job market. Since 2 days we have been talking about we need to have training in order to anticipate and support and train people for employment, and support the transformation and the development of capacity building. And these are the two first points: the elaboration and the implementation of training, and to have a support plan. In many countries there are some institutions, financial institution for the companies that interest activities. We do not go back to partnership. The G7 is in line with the observation that I am sharing. And this the ecologization strategies. If you have something regarding the climate transformation, this pass through our we are eco-responsible, we too. And also on the development of competence of our public services, our advice must deal with those issues too. The idea was to collect the good practices of G7, and as I was saying, of all the AMSEP regions. The first point is the definition of green and green jobs and green competencies. We have the ILO definition. I invite you to go through the ILO website. They have a small publication which is very interesting, that is used with the job seekers on to work in the green economy. And this is it can be used by any advisor, can be used by any public service. All these elements can be found in the International Labour Organization. So this contributes the contributions of the jobs that are emerging from the green economy. And the online services based on green economy activities of many public services is to put at the disposal of training and advice through platforms. And some countries created platforms with a partnership dedicated to training on green economy, and in terms of development of or capacity building. We say that this requires specific competencies. For the services related to job seekers, many public services today develop information online information platforms. They organize online conferences on the social networks with the intervention of partners or intervention of people that represent domains that are able to present on the sector. Particularly, what is important for the job seekers, they propose training in order to improve their competence with the biodigester, for instance, training. And these are new jobs. And also green services for employers. We have a role to support the transformation within the enterprises. And I'm not talking about the fossil companies that are doing this transformation. There was a question that was put by one colleague, is that we have countries that have engaged the transformation, particularly the fossil production, fossil energy production countries like Saudi Arabia, for instance. We have Azerbaijan. Their experience are very important because they are working to anticipate on the transformation of their economies. We need new competencies. We need to be able to benefit from programs and policies of trainings, to be able to negotiate the transformation, and also the programs. We focus them on the vulnerable, the groups that are impacted, both and in difficulties. They are also impacted by the climate change. Fighting against the unemployment of youth, this is important. There are 2 countries that are committed to. I do not have them in mind. There is an intercept project that works in the various countries, transnational, providing employment to youth who are unemployed and who are graduated. This is a priority for a certain number of European countries. It was the goal of the last conference organized by AMSEPS, that is organized with the support of Turkey and Azerbaijan. We were talking about money, subvention. It will be the nerve of the world. There are some new companies, sectors that are emerging, new sectors are emerging. We have also the digitalization and all the green initiative. We have to find it, to find the subventions in order to implement them. And so you see that we talk about the same thing: establish partnership for the reconversion, for the transformation, all the industries that we will need to recompose itself at a national and level and local level. This leads us to local development. Identify the most important sectors. Each territory is not impacted the same way. It depends on the structure of its economy. We need to have transition pilots in multi-actors. And finally, it was the topic of yesterday, all that is opportunities through the management of garbage or waste, the water processing, energy, and also the public services. So as a conclusion, my colleagues proposed to talk about the Paris Agreement. It was the first agreement, transnational agreement on the climate issue. The Paris Agreement reaffirmed the obligation of developed countries to support efforts We looked at the opening ceremony. There is an international solidarity to be set between high revenue countries and low revenue countries. This is our common commitment. It's our common survival that is in danger. This is the message that I was passing from my colleague in order to summarize the spirit of the work of the G7 for Africa. Two countries, Benin and Algeria, that are committing in this working group. There is a catalog of actions that has been published. You have in your file this tool in the file. You have a QR code that can help you to access that document. We have to enrich our experience through the experience of American or Asian countries. I thank you for your kind attention. And you will have in this document the various sources from in which my colleagues are working. So I give you the floor.
Bon, je propose que les applaudissements ils aillent à Nico.
I think it is very difficult with countries, and these round of applause are to be addressed to our colleague. Thank you, Tariq. I remind that all the document presented will come through your mail and through the platform of webs at www.ox, so it will be accessible online. If you have difficulties to have access to your mail, if you have connection, go in to the platform webs in order to have access to all the presentations individually manual that were written physically, so you will have access. So even these working document, I'm going to remind that Benin was appointed by the African region in consultation with the DG that accepted to be part of this working group. We thank Benin for the availability. Mostly we have in mind the only president we need others, the involvement or commitment of others. There's an idea that emerged in some SE. We do not have focal points. We do not have the focal point. So all the present countries that are present here have to convey this strong message to your politics, so that as of now they could do everything possible to have a focal point in your SPE. And the other ideas that was also evoked yesterday, we omitted reminding this. Someone proposed that in all the ministerial department there should be a focal point in coordination with the other partners, with other key players in charge of climate, in charge of environment. This is a very good recommendation, and we need to have people responsible of in charge of collecting information, in charge of coordinating activities. So, and if officially there's someone appointed in charge of something, this is facilitating the information sharing. So we are going to have a very small break for 15 minutes for us to have our coffee break. And I'm going to inform you that Mr. Landry He's amongst us yesterday, since yesterday is the African WCC is widely recognized so in the development of software. So it is a tool that we would be in need that we are also he arrived yesterday. Mr. Rene, you can come here so that we can see you better. And I think you have a more business card to share with us. Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me. I'm in charge of activities of WCS. WCC is about the software that is also working in this same field. So we also have a office in Malaysia. So we are also working with ITRET, so with 40 member countries. So with SPE, as you know, for the competence, Germany, Netherlands, Swiss, Malaysia, in Africa, Tunisia, for your information, in the last information that is in pipeline. It is to show you at which pace we are very involved in this particular subject. So it is to be here and to accompany you so that we could have a tool when it comes to this working session. Thank you once again for giving me the floor. I'm at your disposal. You'll have some my business card, and I will also reply to your questions regarding our business. Thank you. I'm going to precise that since yesterday evening, the president said in terms of the drafting regarding the feasibility studies, the accompaniment for the implementation of WCC, and the message is conveyed.